In this video, I'll be showing advanced bank reconciliation in Dynamics 365, and for that I will go into Bank Management Workspace. Here I can see all the bank accounts that I have in my company, and I will select one that I will use for the demo. Let me show you some setup. First of all, advanced bank reconciliation needs to be set to yes on bank account. Then there is a statement format, in this case BAI2, and this thing is about automatic reconciliation after the import. So I've set this to no because I want to show you all of the steps, but I want to make sure that you understand that all of these steps would be done automatically. Basically, system will go and fetch the file from bank using API and then bring it into location from which it will be imported into the system. And then matching will be performed based on matching rules that we've set up in the system. And only transactions that fail to match automatically will be something that finance will go and review and match manually. So I'll go into bank statement in order to import the file. Over here, I'll go into import statement and select the file that I want to import. So now I will upload the file into the system. This will import bank statement into Dynamics 365. So now that the statement is imported, I'll hit validate, and that will validate the statement. This will perform some basic validation, like whether the bank account matches and whether the dates are after the dates of previous statements, and whether the closing balance of previous statements equals opening balance of current statement, etc. So once that is validated, I will close this form and go back into bank reconciliation. And over here, I'll create a new bank reconciliation and go into worksheet. So worksheet is a place where reconciliation happens. So you can see screen is split in four sections, four spreadsheets. On top left hand side, there are transactions from the statement. And you can see run matching rules at top of the screen, which means that transactions from within those squares on the left and right will be matched based on matching rules when I run that function. So you can see that I use exact MS rules here, and as you can see, transactions that are matched are moved into bottom screen, and you can see this 10,000 equals that payment that we've had on the right hand side. And along with that payment, we have two more transactions, and you see that they don't have any counterpart on the right hand side. These are, let's say, some interest transactions or some bank fees that you never request but you get on your statement anyways. So this is a way to reconcile them automatically and choose the posting in GL that will be appropriate for that type of transaction. So you don't want every time to manually code them. And on the left hand side, there is a balance of transactions. So if we had some transactions to match manually, we could choose them from right hand side, which we don't have in this case. But or we can create a new postings and mark them as matched. So once we finish with that manual matching, I'll just move one of them into match transactions and another one, and then I would finish my process and mark my statement as reconciled. So after this process is done, next step is to post the statement. So I'll go back into bank statement where I've imported it, and you can see here post function that will post this statement. So that concludes the review of bank statement reconciliation, advanced bank statement reconciliation. Now, right now I'll show you some setups. If you want to take a look at something that is behind the scenes setup, stay tuned on this video. cash and bank management, and over here I have transaction code mapping. So this is one setup that is pretty important. It shows how you code bank transaction codes towards your transaction codes. So you might have different banks, and all of them would have coding between their code and your code, which might be different. So this is like a translation table which says 195 equals 01, and it is depositing in our terminology. So that's one of the setups. I'll close this and go into next one. Next one is matching rules. This is pretty important setup. So I've set up here a couple of matching rules. This one is called exact. It means that transaction will be matched only if the amount is exactly the same. So no penny difference. You can see here 0 is set up. But I've set up that there is an option for 5 days difference between the dates. So date of transaction and date of statement could be different by 5 days and it will still match. And then transaction types needs to be matched as well. And this second rule would be a bit different. In this case, I've said that I want to match bank interest to code it automatically. So any transaction that has a value of 566 as a bank transaction code will be marked as bank interest and then posted appropriately. So this will create posting and do it automatically. And now all these matching rules, we can group them together in something called matching rule sets. So we can set up as many rules as we want, but we can group them into this set and assign them to bank account. You might remember at the beginning of this video that against our bank account we've configure this rule set called exact ms, and that will run as a matching rule once we post our transaction, once we post our statement. And that concludes our video.